Okay, so here we are at the Healing Oasis,
Yes.
and I'm with Victoria, who works for Pure Excel,
Correct?
EBOO,
Yes.
and I'm excited about this interview because this is something we're now offering at the Healing Oasis, and you've come for a training.
Correct.
And I assume, and I think you do this like you go everywhere,
All around the world. Yeah.
which is pretty awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So we're going to dig into what EBOO is. We're not going to make any kind of health claims or anything like that. We're just going to talk about what it is and maybe some of the benefits that people have seen from it. So first and foremost, what does it stand for?
So we call it EBO2.
EBO2.
Stands for extracorporeal blood oxygenation and ozonation.
Okay.
So it's kind of a mouthful. Basically what we're doing, pulling blood out of the body, putting ozone, mixing it with ozone.
Yeah.
It's getting filtered through our filter that you'll see here at the Healing Oasis. And then after it's being filtered and mixed with the ozone, it's going through the hemolumen device, which has the 6 wavelengths of light,
Right.
and then back into the body.
Okay, so let's break this
it
down for people who are watching, because I know a lot of people have heard of ozone therapy, like
Right.
IV ozone.
Correct.
So this is, I call it the Cadillac of IV ozone.
Right.
And because, just so everybody's clear, you're drawing blood out of one arm.
Mhm.
There's a pump. It then goes through the filter, through the ozone, through the light therapy, and
Correct.
back into the other arm.
Yes.
And it's treating about 80% of the blood.
Yeah, 80 to 90%.
80 to 90% in a session. And that's what makes it so significant compared to like IV ozone, because it can only do so much in a session, right?
Right. And also we have our filter. So we're filtering off all of the bacteria, mold toxins, fats, cholesterols, whereas with IV ozone, they're pulling the blood out, mixing the blood with the ozone, which is great. It's killing all the viruses and
yeah.
bacteria, but then that has to be reinfused into the body, and then it's the body's job to get
To
rid of
filter.
it. So we do the filtering. So
It's better on
typically
your liver.
less side effects. You
Right.
have the less, we call it the die-off effect, where you don't feel as great the next day.
Yeah.
With IV ozone, because you have to go through the detox process. We do that for you with our filter.
So in theory, if somebody already was fairly toxic, maybe they're recovering from something, their liver might be a little compromised. In theory, this would be a better way to do ozone therapy, because the filter is helping the liver. Like
Right.
instead of relying on the liver,
A little
to,
less harsh on the
little
body.
little less harsh. Yeah. Which is interesting. So the Healing Oasis, we have 5 pillars of health. And the reason I'm excited about EBOO and offering it is because 2 of the pillars, which are super important, are oxygen and detox.
Mhm.
So we talk a lot about detox at the Healing Oasis, because most diseases tend to come from chronic inflammation, which results from toxins in the
Right.
body. As you know, in our society, we pretty much can't stay away from toxins.
Right.
So you already mentioned it, but let's just be clear. This is a great way to remove toxins that are in the blood, because 80 to 90% of your blood's coming out and filtering.
Mhm.
And this filter you're talking about, there's like a bucket I've seen as the person's getting the therapy done, and it's like a inflammatory fluid that comes out.
Correct. So there's 2 components of the waste canister. We have the foam component, which is beta-2 microglobulins. That's our body's inflammatory protein. So you can actually see inflammation being pulled off the body. And then in the liquid component on the bottom is where all the fats, cholesterols, heavy metals, environmental toxins, PFAs, forever chemicals will all live in that liquid
Right.
component.
Right. Okay. So you've tested what comes out into that container, and it's full of heavy metals, mold,
Right.
and obviously it's also being ozonated, so viruses that are in the blood are dying. So as a layman, people don't. I think a lot of people are like me, and I'm trying to understand: does this harm the hemoglobin or anything else in the blood, or is it only the bad stuff?
No, only the bad stuff. So
Okay.
you don't have to worry too much about, volume loss or anything like that, or be worried about that, because as we're taking it out, we're putting it back in.
Right.
So we don't see a big skew on labs per se. If someone
Right.
were to get repeat labs, you wouldn't see a large drop in hemoglobin, hematocrit, anything like that.
Okay, well that's cool. So that reassures people that, so if people are concerned that there's a virus, like I'm going to talk about something that I know a lot of people are, but regardless of what decisions they've made medically, we had that big outbreak and the spike protein is in the blood.
Mm-hmm.
Is this something that in theory could
help?
Could help?
Yeah, I don't know that there's research to say 100%, but definitely could help.
It could help.
We always say, you know, one, we were just saying before, one is better than none.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's definitely not gonna hurt.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, there's not very many ways of cleansing your blood, and this is one very awesome way of doing it.
Yeah.
So now so after it gets filtered and a bunch of the heavy metals and molds and other toxins are going into that bucket, it's also been ozonated. So explain to people, because there's all kinds of stuff on the internet about how, oh, that's not good. You know, ozone is toxic. It's O3. You can't. So explain in layman's terms why this is actually beneficial to put ozone in the blood and what is it doing?
Right. So ozone is safe in our vascular system. So not safe in our ozone or in our respiratory system. People
Right.
will hear, you know, we're breathing ozone, all of that, but it's safe in our vascular system. So it's antimicrobial. It's helping with tissue perfusion. When ozone mixes with the blood, it creates 3 byproducts.
Yeah.
Nitric oxide, which helps with vasodilation, so you're getting tissue perfusion and oxygen.
Okay.
It also helps, also creates hydrogen peroxide, which is antimicrobial. And then carbon monoxide, which sounds scary. People are like, what do you mean carbon monoxide?
Right.
But it's a small amount. So it acts as a signaling molecule to help turn on the anti-inflammatory pathways in the body.
Okay.
Yep. So we're really targeting 2 pathways, or stimulating 2 pathways with the ozone, the
Okay.
AMPK, which is our metabolism and longevity pathway,
Okay.
and then NRF2, which is anti-inflammatory.
So is it actually, and by the way, everybody watching this, you're probably laughing because I'm I don't know how you're not
We're
sweating.
beating.
Yeah, there's
We're right in the sun.
right in the sun. So I don't know. We picked this area, but I'm sitting here
Nice.
and you're in black and I'm sweating right now. Okay, so is it true that it's helping bring oxygen at the same time into your tissues, or is that?
Yes, because with vasodilation, so it's helping expand the blood vessels. So
Okay.
you have better tissue perfusion, better oxygen perfusion.
Interesting. Okay, so okay, that makes sense to me. So in a lot of like some people are trying to get oxygen into areas of their body that are hypoxic, so
Correct.
low oxygen. So this would help.
Yeah, in theory,
In theory,
it
it should help.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Do you ever see in wellness areas where they combine this with like maybe something like hyperbaric oxygen? Have you seen anything like that?
So we always like to recommend avoiding anything oxidative on the same day, but
Okay.
you definitely can continue your hyperbaric chambers and all of that, just because we say we're giving you the perfect dose of ozone.
Yeah.
Perfect dose of oxidative stress.
Right.
So doing something hyperbaric chamber or something
Right.
else oxidative can push you over the bell curve.
So
But
you
you totally can continue, but it's really good to pair with NAD,
Okay.
Niagen, any sort of IV drips.
okay.
Because we say your body's a clean slate
Yeah.
after EBO2. So the absorption of the IV medications or anything like that, vitamins, it's going to be much better.
Okay, got it. Okay, so after it gets filtered, ozonated, and you've explained that, and that was really good. It goes into this you call it something. It's like a light machine. That's what I call
Our
it.
our hemolumen light device.
Hemolumen.
Yes.
Okay, so there's different wavelengths of light.
Right. So inside the hemolumen, you'll see, I don't know if you saw it, there's like this loop-de-loop of glass tubing.
Yep,
so
I
it's
saw it.
36 inches of glass tubing. And what's
Yeah.
happening is when the blood enters to the hemolumen,
Yeah.
the ridges of the tubing
Yeah.
are, it's more bifurcations, are ridged. So it actually tumbles the blood.
Okay.
So you can be sure that all of the blood is being treated with the
light.
The light.
Okay.
6 wavelengths of light: UVA, UVC, red, green, violet, infrared.
And they all do something different.
And they all do something
Yeah,
different.
which I'm not going to get you to remember.
Okay, because
Yeah.
I can tell you what
Okay,
it
go
all
for it.
does. Yeah.
Yeah.
So UVA is a cell stressor.
Okay.
UVC is antimicrobial. So again, we're getting antimicrobial benefits there.
Okay.
Red is Now I'm gonna
Like I said,
mess it up. Red is mitochondrial boosting.
Okay.
Violet is good for cell differentiation.
Okay.
Green helps with nitric oxide, so again, vasodilation,
Okay.
tissue perfusion.
Yeah.
And then infrared just protects the cells as it's going through the hemolumen.
So this is going to be a question that everybody's thinking, because I know it's the first thing that comes to my mind is there's a huge trend with red light therapy beds, going into red light therapy beds.
Mm-hmm.
How is it different for someone listening to have your blood actually coming out and going through this light machine compared to just your skin?
Yeah. So all is good, but we're getting, to the core,
Exactly.
right? It's your blood. So while it's great for collagen and all of that for your skin, it's going to be, think about how great it is for your skin. It's going to be so much better with your blood.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with ozone insufflation. Is that am I saying that right? Ozone insufflation, where they can put ozone up the rectum, or have you ever heard of that?
I haven't even heard of this.
Okay, well, certain naturopaths do that. And I think the same way, like your blood, you're getting to the core of it.
Right. It's going everywhere.
Yeah.
Versus, you have red light face mask, it's just treating your face, versus your blood, it's going your whole body, head to toe.
So how safe is something? I mean, I got to see it, and I can see that it's pretty, like you're just taking blood out, it's going through and coming back in. So when you've done hundreds of these, like
absolutely, yeah. And we've seen them. We've been training on it for quite some time now. So it really is a safe and good for everyone.
Yeah, even athletes.
Someone that just wants to do it for overall health and wellness. Someone that's fighting something autoimmune, chronic inflammatory, fertility. Yeah, all great things.
All great things. I mean, really, I look at it personally and say anyone who's trying to detox, we have things that we offer like colon hydrotherapy, infrared saunas, but like this is going to the core of the blood and helping your body detox. Right. So, and detoxing, I think, is one of the biggest issues of our day and age. So this is getting to the core of that in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what does something like, you can give a range, but I want people to see the value of this. So what does something like this, you guys sort of have a Cadillac, I have to say.
So we have EBO2.
I think I'm confused.
So, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Common. Okay. Most people just will call it EBOO, and that's fine. The difference is we're doing more blood, more ozone, and usually the light. Some EBOO systems have the hemolumin, some don't. So most EBOO protocols go through usually 1 to 3 liters of blood, whereas we're doing 4 to 6. Okay. And then they are doing a max concentration of ozone of 7 gamma, whereas we do 15 to 26 gamma throughout the protocol. So basically, the therapeutic range based on most recent literature of ozone is 10 to 30 gamma. So EBOO, you're still getting some benefits, but you're just a little bit sub-therapeutic versus we're right inside that sweet spot, 15 and then 26.
Okay, then I never knew that. So why is it EBO2? Why is that? Because he's an EBO2O? Like, what's the...
Right, what is it? What's the difference? Yeah. So I think it's just the way the system pulls the blood. Okay. But yeah, more blood, more ozone, and the lights. Okay. So it's just better, and that's probably the difference. Where they're saying, well, I paid this versus this.
Yeah, okay. So I really think that Pure Excel has the Cadillac, and that's what we ended up with. I call it the Cadillac version. Yeah. But if someone was just getting one session just to start off and they're not buying a bunch of packages, but what is a clinic in the US typically?
It's hard to say because it definitely depends on range. Yeah. Where you are. Right. But I would say they probably range, and I don't know this, no one quote me on this, but I would say 1,500 up to 2,500.
That's exactly what I've heard. Yeah. So it's the value is significant.
Absolutely.
And it makes sense because what you're doing is so unique. And you're like 80 to 90% of the blood's being treated. So it's a pretty big deal. Yeah. And the nice thing about it is a lot of therapies you tend to have to do multiple times over a week. And I'm not saying you don't want to do this multiple times, but one session is significant.
Absolutely. One is better than none.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you can get in just to do it once. Some people can't commit to doing it all the time. Do it once and
totally.
Nothing.
Okay, well, that's pretty much all that I was thinking about. I'm sure there's other questions people have, but that was a really good, thank you for sitting down and telling us what EBO2 is.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is great, fantastic. And we're super excited that you came all the way to the Healing Oasis.
Yes, I love it.
Yep, to train. And we're excited to offer this to our future guests.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Victoria.
No problem.